Primate fans, this is Tom Barbalet in the Bay Area. So, it's been a while since I last recorded a run of the command line Noble Ape Simulation, and there's been a lot of stuff added. So with a bit of luck, hopefully it'll run. Okay. The usual, I'm in the sim directory. Been a number of changes, haven't actually checked this recently, but I did get the latest source code. Amazing, not a single warning. Okay. So a lot of the work that I've been doing recently relates to actually moving the command line functionality into the GUI, which is the stuff that runs with the windows, showing the ape environment and also the map. So I give you the same kind of functionality. A lot of these issues, well, what this just says is that the format of the simulation has changed since the last run, and hopefully that'll solve that. But let's have a look what's been added recently. So I've worked a little bit on the format and passed that back to Bob. But what you have here is what's new. A lot of this stuff is new. So I've not seen the appearance stuff previously. Let's kick it off by setting an interval. We can talk a little bit more about this other stuff while it's running. So these things you've probably seen previously: sim, logging on and off, run, reset step. Now, the way this is divided now is that these lower things are things which are specifically for the command line, and I think from here up, including metabolism, is all stuff that'll be runnable through the GUI version. But these little things, I think, probably need to be cleaned up. What it's doing there is, I think it's looking for some graphical file, and it's not finding it. It's providing that error. This does not go in the command line version. The GUI version. I can write a compilation of this, actually, that will just present what is seen through the GUI version when it has the console implementation. So that might be slightly nicer. I might use some of these though. Top and epic and load and script. All these things really need to move up. But anyway, let's step another 3 hours and talk about a bit more of these things. So, since the last video, I'm not really sure where it was the last time, but the respiration metabolism has been added. This is vascular. Appearance, I think, is new as well. Okay, well that's relatively easy. Let's see, in their sleep, you see there's been no meaningful activity, so this is pretty meaningless. This might be more interesting. So in parallel to all of this, there is also a new threaded implementation, which is actually quite important because basically the way that the command line works currently in the GUI environment is, because there's no threading, you basically get to run the command line and then you enter the GUI environment. Now, an interesting point that's only come up in recent days is that there is actually threading in even the standard GUI, because the screen refresh, the thing that drives the window updates, is in its own thread, and it's in its own thread for all 3 major platforms. So irrespective of how they handle it, and they all handle it slightly differently, the graphics does actually have its own independent thread. I've been thinking about that actually quite dynamically, about how to utilize that. Let's step a little bit more. But what I want to show here, in fact I can probably do it currently, except I'm currently stepping. There we go. Let's see who the top apes are. Okay. Things like autocomplete as well is something that I'll think about including. Very good. Okay. So this is what you see with metabolism. Can I do a combination watch metabolism, I wonder? Yes, I can. Okay. So, very good. Okay. Let's step now. I really like this effect, actually. Yep, they are solid. And this is something that I'm adding in the command line as well, again. So, here basically you have the, set the interval a bit longer. Okay, step. So here you have oxygen being consumed, CO2 being emitted. These models I think need quite a bit of follow-on tweaking. I mean, basically, Barbalet's implemented the traditional models again here. Just step would be wonderful. But I actually think there's some like innovative combinations, basically. I can't recall from my physics background what the terminology is, but basically you have a macro number and a micro number, and they have like internal properties, and you can use them for representing a lot of these additional points. But I mean, these numbers basically are not particularly meaningful to those outside the kind of medical, biological background, and I'm really not clear of how you know, how meaningful they are in a simulation sense. It might be interesting actually to watch the appearance, which is what that actually produces. So it's going to be another one of these videos where I actually discover something in the video as well. But these kind of things, I mean, are relatively esoteric. I do actually want to watch her. There we go. Okay, so watch appearance. That's no good. That is a bug. Okay, this is definitely a bug. How will I do it? Let's see if I can use a full conjunction. Probably not. Okay, let's see what actual state is causing this to be. Okay. This is a bug. Okay, let's see if it's just not displaying. Right. No. Okay, sorry for banging the laptop through. Okay. Okay, well at least if I exit and then run the simulation again, hopefully it's loaded because it's the same file. Watch Grace Moore Hall. Wow. Okay. What would cause a seg fault for appearance watch? I don't know what to do here. Okay. So that should work. Oh no, appearance isn't one of those yet. Appearance needs to be one of those, that's the problem. What more? I want to watch the appearance. Okay. Vascular. I thought I was watching Grey Small Hall. Watch vascular. Very good. Okay. Okay. So yes, this is the vascular system of the Noble Apes. This again would be absolutely beautiful to do graphically, because you could show all this. You could show all this stuff like flowing through the arteries and stuff, which would look really quite nice. Variable pressures and these kind of things. You could show that very nicely. I've talked to Bob a little bit about whether we can use this to model like diseases or injuries or these kind of stuff. I mean, you know, if you I don't know, any of these you see, so if you puncture the right radial, it might be pretty problematic. It looks relatively small compared to some of them. Or a tibial artery, for example, a tibial artery. Then yeah, there should be effects. So you could get kinds of injuries like, you know, things dropping on them and causing internal damage as well. So all kinds of interesting stuff that could come through that. Still can't watch the appearance though, which would be nice. It'd be nice to see that evolving in real time. What else do I want to see? Respiration, perhaps? So yes, folks may be recalling these numbers potentially from metabolism, potentially. These are the same numbers. Oxygen, glucose. Yep, these look like the same numbers. CO2. So maybe respiration is just for very simple versions of this, but honestly I prefer the metabolism numbers. I'm not sure, historically I thought respiration came after metabolism in terms of Bob's implementation. But anyway, very curious. Okay. What else is there here that we may not have looked at previously? Very small social graph. Interesting brain code. It'd be interesting to actually expand this. I think this is sufficiently small. Brain code is sufficiently small that you could probably fit it on a... it's going to be difficult on a single screen though. It's going to be very, very difficult to fit that. How would you do it? Yeah, I don't think you could fit it in a single screen. Maybe you could put the inner one next to the outer one and can kind of compare and contrast it. But yeah, it would still be more than a screen. Interesting means of displaying the brain code. I guess what you're looking for here is really fundamentally diversity anyway. What else do we have? Brain code, graph I've done, episodic, always fun. Probes. That's where the aliens come and get the Noble Apes. Stats. Yeah, stats is really nice actually. genome. What's the genome? Like a garden gnome, or a urban garden gnome. Okay. Help. What have we looked at? I think we've looked at everything through that. So yeah, we just need an appearance in the watch. That'd be wonderful. What else am I seeing here? That's all pretty good. Again, yeah. So this is top honor and epic. I think relates to the amount of interactions. So you'd imagine there would be some parity in some of this. I mean, old buddy boy here features multiple times. Aside from that, I don't think there's another overlap. Maybe Gina. Oh, Sheila is there. Wyatt's there actually. Joanna. Carmen is not there. Anwen is there. And we have no Geneva. So there is some overlap here, but not quite. Anyway, so that, yeah, for every load there needs to be a save as well. Like there needs to be a reverse thing. Script is more difficult. But yeah, you need to be able to save the file in a specific place, aside from just where it's saving. But anyway, so this has been my run of the Noble Ape command line simulation, just finding little bits and pieces. And yeah, I probably need to rewrite this whole section here, so it just picks up all of this and enables you to run it without thinking about it. Anyway, Tom Barbalet in the Bay Area, signing off. Here's how we do it.